Hello everybody, Sam here. So as promised, I am here to do a video on lighting and how it can affect your classroom. So there are many different elements when it comes to lighting and successful use of a green screen. Some of those elements are the types of lights that you use, the bulbs in them, their location of course, and the distance between you and your green screen. That'll depend whether or not you will need backlighting or not. Now, I don't use backlighting because generally I am close enough to my green screen. So we're going to go through the different type of scenarios. Now, I am a one-take type of YouTube maker, but I am going to pause every now and then so I can get a picture for you and show you what kind of lighting we are going to deal with. So let's first just start with basic overhead lighting and how it affects your green screen. So as you can see, I've turned off my studio lights and I'm now just using a basic overhead light. Let me go ahead and quickly put my camera to just a basic overhead light. Now in general, this kind of teaching is not overly flattering. It casts a yellow light and it won't be great for green screening because I'm just being lit from the top. If I turned my green screen on, you'll see that it is having a very difficult time picking up my colors. And this is because I don't have light evenly coming from my light to my green screen. It's kind of going in an L shape. The light kind of, well, bounces off my ceiling and softens down. It's really great for setting, for casual setting in a room, but not the best. I do have to click quite a lot in order to get my green screen to work. And now you can see that I do have coloring that is not overly flattering. I will always say one of the first things to do is to get the type of lighting you like and work your green screen afterwards. I also will most likely have issues with my hair when it comes to it because again, it's just not getting enough lighting. The camera is not able to determine what is green screen and what is not green screen. But you could get away with overhead lighting if you are fairly close to your green screen. Now, as you can see, as I'm getting closer and backing up towards the green screen, I'm starting to lose some of that lighting. It would require me to click a little bit more. If I am closer to the light here, it is going to still require a lot of clicking. I will run into issues definitely when I'm trying to use a dry erase board on here, and that is because it is going to bounce the lighting from the white light right onto my dry erase board and right back to the camera. So this is why if you're having trouble with the dry erase board, you might be having issues with that because overhead lighting is not enough for a flattering and well-balanced green screen. So let's go next to those spotlights and see how those work for you. I'll do a quick little camera switch. We're going to do this, the kind of spotlight lamp that has LED bulbs in there, and let's see how those work with the lighting as well. All right, so now I have these lights just kind of shining on me from direct ahead. Now, as you can see, my skin tone is still quite orange, and I am going to be getting a lot of busy work because these lights really on its own don't give off enough light. If I'm close to my green screen, you can see that it's going to cast a shadow that I will need to keep clicking. As I come closer to camera, it's going to get busy. So the more I click, the better it's going to be. But once again, I am going to start having to click a lot and run into issues with my dry erase board bouncing off of the light. Now, I could try to put a second light behind me to light the screen. And when, and you can see too, you see how my color is changing as I move? These LED bulbs are a little bit harsh. What you need to do is balance them out with another light. I could light the I keep saying dry erase. I could try to light my green screen behind me to balance that out. But here's the thing. In doing that, yes, my green screen might come out a little bit nicer, but it's not going to change the fact that my coloring is still not the most flattering when it comes to online teaching. And remember, as I'll say it again, as cool as our backgrounds are, we're the teacher, we're the feature. Get your lighting here right on point and then play with your green screen afterwards. I don't particularly like these lamps. They're not good by themselves. If I throw on my overhead light, it's a little bit nicer. It's a little bit softer. I could get away with this, but it is still going to cast issues As I get closer and further away from my green screen, it'll cause me to have to click a lot, and I am still going to have that issue with the overhead light causing this on my dry erase board, which yes, you can get rid of, but it will require constant clicking within the classes or ahead of time. So let's go ahead and look at the ring lights next. All right, so what I have on me right now is the ring light. And as you can see, just the change in lighting, I have to go ahead and re-click. Now, there's a few elements to the ring light that I know some people love. Now, what I have behind me or in front of me is a full cosmetic ring light. It is an 18-inch ring light. And I do have to say, when it comes to skin tone, it is definitely more flattering. You can see it's giving off that white light, which is like a daylight. You know how they always say, you know, natural lighting, you look, you know, it looks better with natural lighting versus a yellow light. The issue that I have with the ring light is, man, it kills my eyes. It really, really does. A ring light is meant to help with temporary lighting. It is not something that you are meant to stare in, even with a softener on it over and over again. However, the ring light does give off a rather nice amount of light, but in order to get it to be as bright as you need it, you are going to have to go extreme with that ring light. And it will give you the rings in your eyes, which actually sometimes can be kind of pretty. As far as your dry erase board, the effect isn't so dramatic. You could click out of it. You can see that it will still prioritize my dry erase board over my face. The dry erase board will have precedence, and it now did a little bit of funkiness with my hair. Oh, I think I just clicked a little bit too much. Let me just play with my smoothness a little bit. I overclicked. All right, so the ring light does work. This is not the small ring light that clips onto your computer. This is a full-size ring light that's meant for photography, and it's meant to light an area up. I can go far back to my green screen, and I can go forward and still be okay with lighting. However, I will never choose the ring light because it kicks in serious migraines. That alone is just not worth it for me. Let's go to softbox lighting. All right, so what I have on me now is what is called softbox lighting. It is using big lights and really big light bulbs that are covered with sheets of white that soften it up. I have them solely in front of me, one here, and I can give you the links. Now, softbox lighting sometimes does come with a regular yellow tone bulb. I go ahead and I replace mine. I ordered the special white bulbs. Now, the first thing I can see is that I feel like my skin tone is a much more natural skin tone. The nice thing too about the softbox lighting is that they can be off to the side. I do not have lighting that is directly in front of me. So you can see if I put my hand up to my left, it is going to cause a little bit of noise on top here because I'm blocking the light. And the same thing if I were to put my hand up to the right, it should, you know, give me some static there as well because I'm blocking. The reality is though, when I teach, I'm never really holding my hand up far right or far left. So that's an advantage too of softbox lighting. There is not one light that's directly on you. I don't have any other lights on me right now, simply the softbox lighting. I can go to and from my screen and be okay. And I can go ahead and hold up a dry erase board and you can compare this to the overhead lighting and all the other lighting. You can see that it's not kicking in a whole lot of noise on my Minicam, which I absolutely like. So what happens then when you do have some issues, especially when you go into places where you may find that you are a smaller picture-in-picture, like here. I have noticed that there are times when I am in Minicam and I get this kind of gray box, okay? If you do get this kind of grayish background behind you, you can switch. Let me see if I can show you a little bit. You can switch to HSL, okay, and play with this bar right down here. This bar is what's going to help eliminate that gray marking behind you that for some reason you just cannot pick up with the dropper. So keep that in mind, this bottom bar here, if you are encountering that gray area behind you. But other than that, you can see that for the most part, the daylight bulbs within it are the way to go. Now, if you are in an all white space, you can start bouncing some of those lights. If you don't have room for a softbox light, you can bounce lights off of a white wall, which will give you, again, the same type of softbox kind of reflector light that we like. So you don't have to have the lights right on you. If you are finding that your green screen behind you is just not being lit right, well, it's most likely that you have too much direct lighting. And in that case, I will say take your lighting back a little bit. All right, move it away from you. So you're not getting spotlight like in a camera, you're getting a bigger hue around you, which is really genuinely going to help with your lighting. Again, if you are lighting your green screen from behind, then you need to be equally lit in front. But again, I have used so many different types of green screens, and I've played with different kinds of lighting. And I am finding that lighting the green screen too brightly behind you gives you an unnatural look in the front. And you do want to blend in with your background, right? You do want to look like that you're a part of it, that you are the same color of it. You don't want to come out granulated and grainy, which is why it is super important to try to work on lighting from the front. So those are my tips today on lighting. I hope you found it very helpful. As always, please feel free to contact me if I could be useful at any time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.